gods. So they have positioned themselves. They have positioned themselves seriously to make a business out of them. And they are doing it. So in this verse 9, they say, therefore, one has to walk in Krishna consciousness to satisfy Krishna or Vishnu. And while performing such activities, one is in a liberated stage. This is the great art of doing work. So know the great art of doing work is to work as a sacrifice for Vishnu. And in the beginning, this process requires very expert guidance. So we said we read verse 8 yesterday that we should perform our prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. That one cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. And it is true. Everybody who has lived, who has occupied the material body must work. Every living entity. In any species, you must work very hard to maintain your body. Hare Krishna.
Please, I'm copying the structure, so if you can go back there for me.
Do that very fast. Okay, so
I'm on number 3. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So here we are in verse 9. Okay. Verse 9, let us read. Jagyatat karmano yantra lokoyam karma bandhana tarata kama kunteya mukta sangha samachara. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in the material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duty for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. Purpose. Since one has to work even for the simple maintenance of the body, the prescribed duty for a particular social position and quality are so made that that purpose can be fulfilled. Jagya means Lord Vishnu or sacrificial performances. All sacrificial performances also are meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. The Vedas enjoin Jagya Vai Vishnu. Jagya Vai Vishnu. In other words, the same purpose is served whether one performs prescribed Jagya or directly serves Lord Vishnu. Krishna consciousness is therefore performance of Jagya as it is prescribed in this verse. The Varnashram institution also aims at satisfying Lord Vishnu. Okay. Varnashrama Charavata Purusena Parapuma Vishnu Aradhyate. This is from Vishnu Purana 388. Therefore, one has to work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work done in this material world will be a cause of bondage. For both good and evil work have their reactions. And any reaction binds the performer. Therefore, One has to work in Krishna consciousness to satisfy Krishna or Vishnu. And while performing such activities, one is in a liberated stage. This is the great act of doing work. The great act of doing work is to work for Vishnu. And in the beginning, this process requires very expert guidance. One should therefore act very diligently under the expert guidance of a devotee of Lord Krishna, under the direct instruction of Lord Krishna himself, under whom Arjuna had the opportunity to work. Nothing should be performed for sense gratification, but everything should be done for the satisfaction of Krishna. Because any activities for sense gratification will bind us. This practice will not only save one from the reaction of work, but also gradually elevate one to transcendental loving service of the Lord, which alone can raise one to the kingdom of God. Okay? So all Jagya should be performed as an offering to Lord Vishnu, because Vishnu is the Jagya Purusha. Otherwise, work binds one to this material world. So work done as an offering to Lord Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work binds one. And how to perform work is defined clearly in the Varnashram Dharma, because works are to be done according to your Varna and your ashram. If you are a Kshatriya, there are codes, Kshatriya codes, guiding principles for operating as a Kshatriya. If you are a Brahmana, there are guiding principles. And if you are a Vaishya, there are guiding principles. And if you are a Sudra, of course, there are guiding principles too. So you have to work according to these principles laid down in the Vedas. Any work done in contrast or in violation of the set down or laid down principles will cause bondage. And if one follows according to the prescription, while doing the work, the person will be gradually elevated. This is the whole idea. You are working, but you are not entangled. Why? Because you are not attached to the fruit of your work. You are offering the fruit of your work as oblation into the fire of transcendence. You are working for the pleasure of God. Therefore, you don't attract reaction. Any other work you do for your own pleasure, you attract sinful reaction, either good or bad. So this is the great art of doing work. So verses 3 to 8 have entered a niskama kama, work with both knowledge and detachment. Niskama, in other words, combines kama and gyan. Okay, not kama yoga alone, not gyan yoga alone, but a combination of both. And this is where the philosophy of religion with philosophy in the Western, it was given as a comparison. Religion is on its own. These are regulated activities for good results. That means contemporary religions, they are about thesis of how to live and get a good reward for yourself, reward and punishment level. Okay? But knowledge there means you are a jnani. Karma alone is religion. Jnana alone is philosophy. So when there is philosophy and there is no religion, no regulating principles, it is dry, or it's called mental speculation. That's why I say philosophy without religion is mental speculation. And religion without philosophy is mere sentiments and sometimes fanaticism. So there should be religion with philosophy. This is the whole idea Krishna is giving to Arjuna. You should do your duty, but with knowledge. that you are not this body, but a spirit, soul, and eternally part and parcel of me. So you should work and offer the result to me because you are part and parcel. The hand must be connected to the whole body in order for the hand to be happy and satisfied. Do you get it? The hand must be connected to the whole body for it to make a complete unit, so that when the stomach is fed, automatically nourishment is distributed to the hand and all other parts of the body. This is the great art of doing work. But if the hand just want to work and enjoy the food, to grab the food and start squeezing it, it will not get the required nourishment. This is the whole point. Any work that is not done for the pleasure of Vishnu binds one. It leads to bondage. Therefore, work with knowledge, do your prescribed duty with knowledge about yourself, knowledge about the Supreme, knowledge about your relationship with the Supreme. Understand? This is what Krishna wants us to do. So, knowledge, karma alone, or religion alone is not enough. Knowledge alone or philosophy is not enough. There must be jnana and karma combined. So that's why thesis plus antithesis equals synthesis. This is the formula. Thesis, which is religion, plus antithesis, which is philosophy, equals niskama kama yoga. Work in knowledge. That is synthesis. So thesis plus antithesis equals synthesis. Religion with philosophy becomes, philosophical spirituality. Yes. That's just a religion without philosophy is mere sentiment or fanaticism at best. And philosophy without religion is mental speculation. Therefore, this is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. Now, in other words, niskama karma, in other words, combines both karma and jnana. So niskama karma allows a soul to be active, but in a detached way, so that he is protected from material entanglement. Okay? Higher still, as stated in text 9, is when one's knowledge increases to include knowledge of Vishnu. Not only I'm not this body, I'm a spiritual, but what is your relationship with God? When that is also included, then it becomes higher level of Niskama. That's Bhagavad Arpita Niskama Kama Yoga. And the detached activities one then performs are offered to him with devotion. This is Buddhi Yoga. Niskama Kama is meant to lead to Bhakti. Okay? Work with knowledge is supposed to graduate into Bhakti. So work with knowledge of your real identity, then work with knowledge of your real identity plus your relationship with God. Then constantly remembering that relationship, you work with devotion for the satisfaction of the Supreme. So Niskama Karma is to graduate you into Bhakti. Devotion is added. Devotion to who? Devotion to Krishna. The question arises, what if a person is overly attached to material life and cannot perform Niskama Karma yoga? To explain this, Krishna now describes the yoga ladder, beginning with the lowest rung and gradually moving higher. Okay? And the next 7 verses, 10 to 16, they describe the progressive stages of the yoga ladder from Kama Kanda to Kama Yoga. You got it? To clarify and take Arjuna deeper, Krishna decided to explain the yoga ladder to Arjuna. Okay? The yoga ladder starts with karma kanda, those ritualistic activities. Do this. If you do this, you get the result. If you want this, you do this and you do this jagya, you get this result. All the karma kanda ritualistic activities, they are all in the category of karma kanda. But that karma kanda level is higher than V-karma. In V-karma level, there is no rules and regulation. But in karma kanda level, some scriptural rules and regulations are added to the activities you are doing. But below that level, V-karma level is like animal life. Just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. You don't even know the goal of life. You see that other people are doing something, then you also do. You think life means just doing what other people are doing. Finish. You find food to eat, you sleep, you mate, and you defend. That's all. That is V-karma, animal life. But when scriptural injunctions are added to what you are doing, it's good and bad. If you do like this, it's bad. Don't do to others what you will not want others to do unto you. Then you arrive at karma kanda. Okay? Then karma kanda will now graduate into sakama. Sakama kama yoga. The next ladder is sakama kama yoga. And sakama kama yoga is when you are working, you are attached to the work and you are attached to the result of your work. Can you get it? You are attached to doing your work, but you are also still attached to the result of your work. You will not work if there is no result. You will not work if there is no gratification waiting for you. That's why I say religiosity for economic development. You are calculating profit and loss on that platform. Profit and loss calculation, full your head. That is sakama. And then, when sakama increases, when sakama intensifies, then some little tinge of detachment is added. You are doing your work, you are attached to the work, but you are not too overly attached to the result. So whatever you get out of it, you are okay. You do your work, you get some money, you are okay with it. But even if you don't get money, you will still enjoy doing the work. So some level of detachment is added. Then when this detachment advances further, when the percentage of detachment increases, then sakama become niskama, whereby you are working, but you are not attached to the result of your work. You are doing something because you enjoy doing it. Like, for instance, you can volunteer to do some humanitarian work. Like you go and do food for life. You beg people to collect money, you use the money to buy burger, you cook the burger, offer it, and you go and give it to the needy. Free. You are not attached to getting anything from the people you are giving the work to. Or you see that, okay, some hospital or school is dirty. You volunteer, you see some painters, you volunteer, you go and volunteer to paint with them. Sacrifice the whole day painting without even expecting anything. You are just doing it because you enjoy doing something to make people happy. That becomes niskama. And when niskama intensifies, it graduates into Bhagavad Arpita Niskama. That means, okay, you now know your identity, you know your relationship with Krishna, there is knowledge in it. Then you want to act on the platform of that relationship. The hand want to serve the whole body without specifically attached to any result. Instead, you want to satisfy the whole body. So somebody want to work and offer the result to God. He's doing a work, but he's not attached to the results. And instead, you want to please God with whatever he's doing. So he goes extra mile to do it in a way that, God will be happy with him. It's called Bhagavad Arpita. God is included. The yoga ladder is going up. Then when that one intensifies, it gives back to knowledge, realized knowledge from within. As you continue to do that sacrificial work, the Lord in the heart becomes very happy, and it starts to enlighten you from within. It starts to enlighten you from within. That enlightenment from within will propel you to constantly relish a kind of reciprocal mellow with the Lord. A kind of reciprocal mellow with the Lord. So you enjoy doing it, and you are getting some nectar out of it. So you constantly remember the Lord constantly. 1 second. Hare Krishna, I've seen it. I will work on it later. Okay? I'm in a class. I'm in a class now. I will do it this night, no problem. Hare Krishna. So, like that, are you getting it? When it intensifies, meditation is hardened. It becomes Buddhi yoga. And when Buddhi yoga increases, it becomes Bhakti yoga. Buddhi yoga is the beginning of Bhakti yoga. Or even Jnana yoga can also be said to be the beginning of Bhakti yoga. But when Bhakti yoga when the Jnana yoga intensifies, it becomes Bhakti. And ultimately you have arrived. Then at Bhakti also, there is a beginning, there is middle, there is advanced level. You see? So this is how the ladder of yoga, or the yoga ladder, is described. So Krishna decided to explain this yoga ladder to Arjuna. And verses 10 to verse 16 constitute that every soul in the material world attempts, either subtly or grossly, to position himself, not Krishna, as the enjoyer and controller. This is true regardless of the body the soul inhabits. Okay? The striving of ignorant animals for pleasure according to their limited capacity is the same as that of spiritually underdeveloped humans. The human beings that are spiritually underdeveloped, they are also just like the animals. They put themselves in the center. They are just working for sense gratification, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending without any regulation. So human beings that are not advanced spiritually or are not spiritual, they are just like the animals. So just as the animals put sense gratification in the center of their life, that is how those people also put sense gratification in the center of their lives. Okay? But the Vedas and their supplements contain 100,000 lakhs of verses. Yes, of this. Plenty of verses explaining the details of this. Of this, a great majority of them discuss fruitive activities, and only a small percentage discuss Jnana Kanda. All the Vedic literatures, most of them are teaching how to do Kama Kanda. That's why it's like they've compiled volumes and volumes of Vedic literatures. But in the end, he was still despondent. Despondent, he was not satisfied. Why? When he was thinking like that, his intelligence also led him to realize that it's because he has not exclusively glorified devotional service. He has not separated devotional service from Kama Kanda. Then immediately Narada Muni appeared and he confirmed to him, yes, you are not happy, you are not satisfied because you have not exclusively glorified devotional service and the bhakta and the process of devotion. So do that now. And yes, it was at that time that he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit. It described as the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic literatures. Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic literatures. So it was compiled by Srila Vyasadeva in its maturity. It matured from Kamakanda, lower level glorification, to a higher level glorification. When his consciousness becomes fully purified into transcendental level, then he begins to glorify the Supreme Personality of God. So that is the platform of Srimad Bhagavatam. Initially, so many Vedic volumes of Vedic literature were all glorifying how to live happily in this world without any consideration of liberation from material bondage. But after describing how to get liberation from material bondage, centering our activities for the pleasure of God, then he became very, very happy and satisfied. That is after compiling Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of all mysticism. It is the ripened fruit of all mysticism. It is the sweetest, it is the nectar. It is the nectar of all Vedic literatures. Okay? So the Vedic culture provides a system by which the materially attached person can satisfy his material desires, yet gradually become purified. This is the process of Varnashram Dharma that is given. So in every ashram, there are prescribed duties. These are to gradually lead you that when doing this your work, you will just be getting purified, because if you know how to do the work, you do the work, you get the result, but you get some purification because some sacrifice is involved. You have to control your senses, control your urges, and know your boundaries and act accordingly. Then purification takes place. Then ultimately, when you become well purified, then you can renounce. You can renounce. But if you are lucky enough to come in contact with devotional service, Bhakti, straight by the mercy of the spiritual master, you are very, very fortunate. It is after many, many births and deaths that you have come to that platform. This is not your first time. After many, many births and deaths of pious activities, you have gradually come to the platform of Bhakti. Therefore, when you see the devotees, you become attracted. Nobody knows how. Somehow or the other, you get somehow or the other, you read, somehow or the other, you come and be part of the process. It is after many, many years, an accumulation of piety from previous life. Then sometimes Krishna wants to bestow it on somebody. He can just pick somebody and bestow on him also. That's also okay. Therefore, such a high percentage of Vedic information centers on Karma Kanda. So don't be surprised. The Karma Kanda means the performance of sacrifices to reach higher planets and to satisfy superior beings, the demigods. Karma Kanda means working under the superintendence of the demigods. And you do activities, the demigods are pleased with you, then they give you their blessings, then things go well for you. These are the rituals. That's why you see all kinds of rituals in the Hindu cosmology, Hindu culture. So many rituals. All have their specific aim. They are Karma Kanda rituals, whereby demigods are pleased. When the demigods are pleased, as universal administrators, they bestow upon you. Like a rich man, if you serve a rich man and the rich man is satisfied with you, he gives you some gifts. Oh, I'm pleased with your service. Take this. This is the way of Karma Kanda. Following which, a man will be gradually elevated to the heavenly. Krishna is telling Arjuna that rise above all the flowery language of the Vedas, because they can only take you to heaven. Heaven, there is old age, disease, and death also. There is self-centeredness. You are the one in the center, even if you are in heaven. But beyond that, when you begin to put Krishna in the center, then you have arrived at Bhakti. So sometimes Bhakti is defined as Your activities are considered bhakti when you surrender first. Then you begin to do activities for the pleasure of Krishna. That is bhakti. But if you are doing activities and you come in contact, you come to know about Krishna, then you are giving some result of your activities. You are still doing those activities, but you bring some result of those activities to Krishna. And this is Niskama Kama Yoga. It is not bhakti yet. All activities you do before you follow the instructions, Sabadama Parityaja, those are below bhakti. But when you surrender to Krishna first, as we are trying to do, then every other engagement that follows is bhakti. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, surrender to me. Then do whatever you are told to do for my satisfaction alone. Then you are there. Okay? So to become situated under the protection of such a system, one must agree to regulate his enjoyment by the descending authority of Vedic formulas. One following that system does not act simply as he desires. His mood of subservience to God's order in the form of the Vedas, even though his purpose is to attain sense pleasure, is purifying. Meaning once you are following the regulations in the Vedas, even if it is for your sense pleasure, you are working and you are following the Vedic formula, you will be purified. And that is Kamakanda. That is the arrangement for gradual purification of all living entities. Then those who have become purified become something interested in something more. Then at a point they come to realize that, but I'm serving this demigod. These demigods are also doing puja to somebody, to Vishnu. Then that Vishnu must be more powerful than the demigods now. Then you want to surrender, you want to find Vishnu and surrender to him. Then you rise above. You have gotten purification. This is how the process. Otherwise, don't force yourself to where you have not reached. Instead, be fixed in doing those activities that will purify you. This is the purpose of this. Okay. I want to get it very clearly. These are the stages of yoga being described. Okay. That by following the Vedic system of sacrifice, one can implicitly accept the principle that he is not independent. Rather, his enjoyment depends upon the satisfaction of higher authorities. You get it? It is very important because from no authority, now you have a sense of subordination to a higher authority. That higher authority can be a demigod or a yaksha, but you have accepted at this point there are authorities higher than you. It is not by you putting things together, your manipulation, your endeavor, and your combination of calculations that things are happening. But your activities are being approved and they are rewarded by some people higher than you. This is what these Kamakanda activities achieve. So they are also stepping stones to Bhakti. You get the point clear? You get the point clear? And we gave the analogy that if you are looking for the Arundhati star, the most auspicious star in the sky, there are some other stars that are closer to us and are therefore brighter. So you point to that brightest star. You point to that brightest star. Say, look at, can you see that star? Then you say, yes, I can see it. Then if you can see it, look at the right side of that star. The next star that is there, that is the Arundhati star. Therefore, by worshiping according to the Vedic regulations as in Kamakanda, one is gradually elevated until you begin to understand that everything I'm doing should be supplicated to the approval of higher authorities. Then these higher authorities approve, then you get the reward. So reward and punishment. If you do bad, they chastise you. The person who can reward you good can also chastise you also when you do bad. So this is the platform of Kamakanda. And it is not bad. and we say, oh yeah, God, I'm coming. It is not bad, but it's not the ultimate. And it is actually good for those who have not known about Bhakti yet. But for one who has already known about Bhakti, who has come in contact with devotional service, if he go down to worship demigods, he is demoting himself. It is demotion. But if you have not known about the Supreme, and you now know about demigods and their potency and their position, administrative position, and you are appreciating them, you are working according to them, you are getting elevated. So try to understand, demigod worship is still part of the arrangement of the Lord to trap all conditioned souls and bring them back to his lotus feet. Yes, Oyega God, Prabhu, can you ask your questions?
Please throw light on some people that believe that after the supreme personality of the Godhead, that is human beings.
Some people are saying
A situation whereby when someone believes that after the supreme personality of Godhead, that is human beings, that is a next in equal, that demigods are under human beings, that they are meant to render services to humanity. So
it's a misconception.
Okay.
It's a misconception now. If you are in a universal company, a company like if you are in a company, those who are on the lower level of the company, who are messengers, servants, who are on the floor level, they cannot consider themselves the same or superior to departmental heads now.
Okay.
Eh? Okay. Can a general recruit in any movement or in any organization compare himself to departmental heads?
No.
No, now. So it's a bewilderment of memory now.
Okay.
And loss of intelligence now. So that is it. The demigods are great personalities who are devotees to a high extent, but they still have material desires. Therefore, they are put in higher administrative positions as departmental heads in the universal administration. So for you to think that you are higher than the demigods is a misconception. But what is there is that sometimes people say the human beings are more fortunate than the demigods. Why? Because there is too much enjoyment in the demigods' kingdom. There is too much enjoyment there, so that they might not be humble. Something will not humble them to want to look for God.
Okay.
Yes, for that, the human beings have equal amount of suffering and enjoyment. So the suffering will push him to want to look for solutions. So in the process, he said, there must be God. Let me surrender to God. With demigods, too much enjoyment. Imagine all the sufferings we have on earth. The demigods are flying above them. If you want to go to America here, you have to go and take visa, go and get plane, this and that. The demigods just fly above. The demigods are all the sufferings you get on earth here. They are flying above that. Are they small people?
Not at all.
They are living above all the forests, all the seas, all the dangerous animals in the forest, all the rocks and stones on earth. They are not small people now. Their level is that all those impediments are below them. They are flying over them. Those things do not constitute any impediment on their part. So they are not small people now. The demigod's position is high, but human beings are considered more fortunate than the demigods because human beings have equal amount of suffering and enjoyment, which will act as a propeller or a propelling force or a driving force for them to look for shelter. You see? The demigods will feel comfortable and they take things for granted because everything is rosy. Just like a rich man on earth here, find it difficult to surrender to God.
Yes, yes, yes.
If you see a rich man, you think that by his own abilities he has arrived. So only poor people go and worship God. So he's not interested.
He doesn't have anything to pray for. He has everything under his
He
head.
has everything already. That is his mentality. That is false mentality. Because time is superior to him.
Yeah.
Yes, time is superior to him and imperceptibly is attacking him. And invalidity will replace all the validity and vivacity very soon. Very soon. You see a rich man growing old and dying. So this is the point, Prabhu. Get it right. Sacrifices recommended in the Vedic literatures for satisfaction of the demigods are a sort of inducement to the sacrificers to realize the existence of higher authorities. You get the point right now? Are you getting the point?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Get this point clear now. This, listen again. Sacrifices recommended in the Vedic literatures for satisfaction of the demigods are a sort of inducement to the sacrificers to realize the existence of higher authorities. Okay? Once you recognize that there are higher authorities, you have taken a step towards God. Because at least now you have moved from the general mass of people who do not believe there is God, the goal of life is just eat, sleep, mate, and defend. Now you believe that there are superior authorities, that if you submit to them, if you serve this authority, the authority will be happy, then it will best. So if you serve a rich man, the rich man will be happy and he can bless you with some money or something that you cannot even buy on your own in this lifetime. A rich man can just bring some golden chain and give you. He can dash you one of his old cars and you become a car owner all of a sudden. So that ability to recognize one who is higher than you that can bless you, that is the work is being done by the rituals, the Vedic ritualistic ceremony. If you are doing that, they bring you to that point where you recognize that there are higher authorities. Such followers of the Vedas are called Kamakandis. Okay? People who are following the ritualistic ceremonies of the Vedas, in order to attract the blessings of the demigods, they are called Kamakandis. Kama what?
Candies.
Kamakandis. And what they do is called Kamakanda.
Kamakanda is what they do.
What they are doing, those ritualistic ceremonies, they are called Kamakanda. And one who is doing those ritualistic ceremonies is called a Kamakandi. So Krishna is now explaining, using this opportunity to explain to Arjuna. I'm taking time to explain this so that by the time we are reading through, we will not waste time explaining it again. But we want to clarify it in this way. Krishna is taking time to explain the yoga ladder. That from the common men, you get the Kamakandis. Among the Kamakandis, the evolved Kamakandis become Kama Yogis. Among these Kama Yogis, you get, because yoga is added now. Before it was just Kamakanda, but yoga is added. So linking process is added. And that linking process brings them to Sakama. Sakama means they are doing their work, but they are still attached to the results. I am doing this work so that the demigods will bless me. Then when I get the blessing, I will enjoy it. This is their determination. Their determination is to enjoy the fruit of their labor. That is Sakama. But then when detachment is added to these activities, then it becomes Niskama. When the level of detachment is small, it is Niskama. But when it becomes big, to the level that you are almost not attracted to, you want to do free services for others, it becomes Niskama. And when this karma intensifies, God is added. So, I have a relationship with God because knowledge will come out of the friction. The frictional relationship, positive, melodious relationship between that kind of work, it will generate some mellows that in form of knowledge. Realize knowledge arising from the heart, coming from within the heart. Realize internal knowledge. You have a direct perception of the self by realization. Then at that point, bhakti begins. Then it becomes Bhagavat Arpita Niskama Kama Yoga. It is Kama Yoga, but it's not ordinary Kama Yoga. It is not Niskama Kama Yoga. It is not Sakama Kama Yoga. It is not Kama Yoga. It is Bhagavat Arpita Niskama Kama Yoga. Somebody gave an example of somebody who come to show some devotees, old devotees. He come to the temple, he meet the temple president. He told him that, look, I can sew 9 Sankirtan bags for you. But the temple president did not know that he was interested in collecting some money also. So he said, oh, then go ahead and do it. How much do you need for the cloth? He gave him money for the cloth. He went and he showed the thing. Very nice Sankirtan bags, like a dozen of it. He brought it to the temple president. Temple president take it to say, yeah, thank you very much for your service. So. And he left. And the man was not happy. He was morose. Then some other devotees asked him, what is happening? He even stopped coming to temple for some time. President asked, where is this person now? Who made these nice bags? They said, he's not coming again. Why? They said that time he submitted those Sankirtan bags. He expected some money now. And you didn't give him anything. So he's demoralized. He said, oh, I didn't know. He didn't tell me. Understand? He did the work, but he wants some result also. But the person was not sensitive enough to detect that. So he just left him, and also out of respect and shyness, he just went away. But it's not from his heart. He wanted something. And those kind of people, they are useful also. We need to understand their level and also relate accordingly because they are needed. Because no kami can show you Sankirtan back very nicely. Okay? But another one comes, he wants to do some service. I said, do you need some money? He said, no, I don't need any money. I just want to serve. Then he serves. It's another level also. He does the work, but he's not even attached to the fruit. On and on like that. So there's graduation or gradation. Okay.
So when the person that needs money is supposed to open up now instead of him to just assume that the president, the temple president, will give him money.
Yeah, like he was trying to be very humble and careful also now. But no, he's a householder who has a lot of responsibility at home also. He needed to pay his children's school fees with that money he has already calculated. But he couldn't say it because he's a devotee and he's trying to practice humility.
Okay.
So if he had said it, the president would have given him the money. Because he's interested in the results. And it's good. It's not bad. After all, when we need something, we go and buy it from Kamis, isn't it? We pay them money. Then we take whatever we want. Without that result, the Kami will not give you anything. If you want cabbage, you go there. Nice cabbage is there. Provided you are able to pay, you get your cabbage.
Yes.
You see? So if a devotee has gone to do some farm, he has brought some nice cabbage, nice ones, even nicer than the Kami's own. You just take it and you don't consider his status as a householder who needs something for maintenance to pay rent or to also buy some light in his house. If you are inconsiderate, you are also inattentive. Even though you didn't say it out of humility, you are also not very attentive. So as a manager, you have to know different level of devotees, always clarify. Then you do things nicely. Clarify from them. You make situational analysis and you can relate very nicely with all of them. Different classes, all are needed in the temple. All are needed. But if you are insensitive, you will drive some of them away by your own attitude, transcendental attitude. So gradually, by following Vedic system, one may accept an eternal transcendental objective to replace his temporary fruitive goals. With that acceptance, one abandons the designations of Kamakand and becomes a Kama Yogi. By properly performing his appropriate duties, the Kama Yogi will gradually move from Sakama Kama Yoga, attached work, to Niskama Kama Yoga, detached work on the platform of Jnana or knowledge. He can then follow the yoga ladder upward towards liberation, Paramatma realization, and finally, devotional service to Krishna. His association and desires will dictate how far he actually climbs on his step-by-step ascension of the yoga ladder. The Bhagavad Gita describes this gradual ascension in chapters 3 through 6. You get it? So this Kama Yoga and the different level of yoga on the ladder is described in 3 chapters. Chapter 3, 4, 5, and in 4 chapters. Chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is what is discussed. This is the constitution of chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6. Then Bhakti Yoga is described in chapter 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then Jnana Yoga is described in chapter 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So the first cover of the box, the last cover, and the middle cover, the middle, which is the contents, are all contained. So this is very important and it's very gradual. We are explaining this all so that by the time we go to read the text, we will not waste time. Everything will be clearer. As we are reading, we shall be seeing it very clearly. So this is it. The 3 activities of religion. The 3 activities of religion, economic development, and sense gratification are generally attractive for conditioned souls struggling for existence in the material world. Okay? For all conditioned souls who are struggling for existence in this material world, among whom we have been selected, we have been picked out, among the general conditioned souls who are struggling, these 3 activities, religiosity, they engage in religiosity for economic development. All those people going to churches, mosque, Catholics, this, that, Seventh-day Adventists, this and that, Sabbatarians. They are doing what is called religiosity or regulated life or thesis for economic development. And why do they want economic development? They want economic development for sense gratification. Okay? So the general mass of people, this is what they are after. Religiosity for economic development and economic development for sense gratification. For sense gratification. Such regulated activities prescribed in the Vedas are called the Kamakandya conception of life. When you say somebody is stuck in Kamakandya conception of life, that means he's stuck in religiosity for economic development for sense gratification. Liberation is not included. It is the advanced one among them that we consider liberation, because economic development, and when they get the maximum of the opulence, they want something higher. They want to, they crave for liberation then. And householders are generally recommended to follow the rules just to enjoy material prosperity, both in this life and in the next. Householders are recommended to do this to do the religiosity for economic development, for self-gratification, but they should have a desire for liberation also. So if you are a householder, don't renounce your duty. Don't renounce your duty in the name of transcendence. Take responsibility. Work, get money, pay school fees for your children. Let them go to school like any other person. Let them do everything that everyone else is doing. If everybody is looking for fridge, you have to have fridge in your house so that your children will not go and be begging for cold water in your neighbor's house. All the basic things you need to make your household look attractive enough to contain your children inside. Get them. So that's why you see all the Indians, you see, they are very mad after all the ritualistic ceremonies. This puja, that puja, that puja, that puja. They want to do this puja, Lakshmi Narayan puja, Durga puja, Shivaratri, this, that. This is what they know. That is where the Kamakanda ritualistic activities are stipulated and they are being practiced. And they have priests who do that. And those priests who are doing those works, they get money also. Because they know that if a priest does work for you, you will not get the result if you don't pay, if you don't give him some money. So the priest does the work and they collect some money. You see, it's a matter of the person should learn how to do it, then he does it well so that they can get the desired result. So are you hearing? Therefore, householders are generally recommended to follow the rules, just to enjoy material prosperity, both in this life and in the next. Most people are attracted by such activities. Okay? As a great emperor of the world, Maharaj Parikshit had to observe such regulations of the Vedic Kamakanda session. Even Maharaj Parikshit did. But by his slight association with Shukadev Goswami, he could perfectly understand that Lord Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, for whom he had a natural love since his birth, is everything. And thus, he fixed his mind firmly upon him, becoming, renouncing all modes of Vedic Kamakanda ritualistic activities. This perfectional stage is attained by a Jnani after many, many births. So the Jnani or the empiric philosophers, they are endeavoring for liberation. So when Jnana is included, when knowledge is included, then you begin to think of liberation. And the great philosophers, they negate and they see the futility of the material world. So they want to withdraw from materialistic activities. So they engage in meditation. And out of hundreds and thousands of such meditators, one may become a Bhakta. Get it? One may become a Bhakta. As soon as a person accepts his position as a servant of Krishna, though he may similarly be on the, Vikama yoga or Niskama Kama yoga, Sakama yoga or Vikama Kama yoga or Kama yoga, any level of yoga, it may seem to be, and I may even be termed a Sakama in Niskama Kama yoga. He is no longer on the same step-by-step path. Once devotion is added, he's no longer on the same step-by-step. He has taken an elevator. He's now a devotee. Although he may not be fully realized and may still have material attachment, there is a devotee. Okay? For a discussion on the use of these terms is in relationship to devotees, please refer to the preface. In the preface, there are some discussions there. He is nevertheless far greater than those who take to the step-by-step process. So a devotee you are seeing on the part of Krishna consciousness is far greater than those who are taking the step-by-step process. And as we explained yesterday, he has already found the root by the mercy of the spiritual master and is engaged in watering the root, while the Gyanis and all other meditators are still looking for the root. All kinds of yogis are still looking for the root, but a Bhakti yogi has already found the root and is watering the root by the mercy of the spiritual master. A devotee who practices Sakama Kama Yoga, for example, will gradually have his material attachments loosened by his performance of appropriate practices. This is also true of the non-devotee Sakama Kama Yogi. The devotee Sakama Kama Yogi, however, is far superior because he's already begun to aspire for the highest goal. The non-devotee Sakama Kama Yogi is on the transcendental path, but may never reach on the understanding of the highest goal. Therefore, he may never reach the highest rank of the yoga ladder. Additionally, when one proceeds in the step-by-step fashion, his advancement is limited by his own capabilities. But when one sets on Krishna's service as his goal, attains the mercy of Krishna and the Vaishnava. So the mercy of Krishna and the Vaishnava are the additional ingredients for somebody who has begun devotional service. These are not available for those who are following the step-by-step. Okay, they act as the support throughout his spiritual journey. Okay, Krishna's mercy, Vaishnava's mercy. And the non-devotee faces these two difficulties. He may never understand that the highest rank of the yoga ladder is to attain Krishna's service, and is limited by his own detachment, purity, and power to advance. He does not gain the assistance of Krishna's descending mercy. Krishna's mercy is called descending mercy. One who has begun devotional service, he gets Krishna's descending mercy, the Vaishnava's descending mercy. So he is superior to the Sakama Kama Yogi, who is a non-devotee. A devotee has the descending mercy of Guru and Krishna and Vaishnavas. Therefore, things become easier. He understands the ultimate goal as Krishna Bhakti, and he finds himself there. So, okay. So there are some nice quotations here. There are some nice quotations there. That if one understands Krishna, he immediately becomes desireless. He becomes niskama, because a Krishna Bhakta knows that his friend and protector in all respects is Krishna, who is able to do anything for his devotees. Krishna is able to do anything for his devotees. Knowing that alone, his level has changed. He's in an elevator already. Krishna says, Kunteya Pratijane na me bhakta pranasati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Since Krishna gives this assurance, the devotee lives in Krishna and has no desire for personal benefit. The background for the devotee is the all-good personality of God himself. Why should the devotee aspire for something good or for himself when he's already with the Supreme Personality of God? His only business is to please the Supreme Lord by rendering devotional service as much as possible. A Krishna Bhakta has no desire for his own personal benefit. He is completely protected by the Supreme Lord. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that he is desireless because Krishna will give him protection in all circumstances. Krishna will give you protection in all circumstances. Therefore, you don't need to desire for it by yourself. Just serve Krishna. Krishna will take charge. Prahlad Maharaj did not tell Krishna to appear as Nisingade before he appeared. He was already there for him. It is not that he expects any assistance from Krishna, he simply depends on Krishna, just as a child depends on his parents. The child does not know. He does not know how to expect service from his parents, but he is always protected by the parents. Nevertheless, this is called niskama, or desirelessness. When you are doing devotional service on the platform of desirelessness, Krishna himself personally takes charge of everything concerning you, including your protection, your provision, and preservation. Everything. That's why I say, to my devotees, I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. This is Krishna for his devotees. Although Kamis, Gyanis, and Yogis fulfill their desire by performing various activities, they are never satisfied. The Kami may work hard to acquire $1 million, but as soon as he gets $1 million, he desires another $1 million. Yes, for the Kamis, there is no end of their desire. A Kami is always desiring for more and more and more and more and more. He gets $1 million, immediately he desires another $1 million. He cannot come down to even enjoy what he has. In this way, hankering and hankering and hankering, and one day death will just kick him in the face. The more the Kami gets, the more he desires. The Gyanis cannot be desireless because their intelligence is, it's not sound. You cannot remain, inactive. Why? Because you are an active living entity, dynamic, but trying to merge into the effulgence of the Lord and remain inactive. That means you have no intelligence, nothing. Everything is merged into the effulgence. There are many Gyanis or sannyasis who give up the world as false. But after taking sannyasis, they return to the world to engage in politics or philanthropy, or to open schools and hospitals. This means that they could not attain real Brahman or Brahma Satyam. They have to come down to the material platform to engage in philanthropic activity. Thus, they again cultivate desires. And when these desires are exhausted, they desire something different. Therefore, the Gyanis cannot be niskama, no desireless. Nor can the yogis be desireless, for they desire yogic perfections or mystic powers in order to exhibit some magical feats and gain popularity. People gather around these yogis, and the yogis desire more and more adulation. Because they misuse their mystic power, they fall down again onto the material platform. It is not possible for them to become niskama or desireless. The conclusion is that only the devotees who are simply satisfied in serving the Lord can actually become desireless. Therefore, it is written, Krishna Bhakta Niskama. Since the Krishna Bhakta, the devotee of Krishna is satisfied with Krishna, there is no possibility of fall down. Thus, studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, no one can become bewildered and mistake a wrong on the yoga ladder as it goes. So the Prabhupada mercifully and expertly synthesizing the commentaries of the previous acharyas with his own realized words created fully relevant purpose for the worldwide audience of Bhagavad Gita readers. So the Prabhupada revealed Krishna's actual desire for the conditioned soul. Sabadama Paritaja Mamikam Saranam Braja. That we abandon all forms of religion and surrender to him. Whilst we remain incomplete, fixed at one level of the elaborate Vedic system, when we can achieve the system's full purpose by the easy step of surrender to Krishna, by writing Bhagavad Gita as it is, La Prabhupada clearly he proved that the Lord's devotee is even more merciful than the Lord himself. So Okay. At this point, let us just read the verse 16. We need to discuss it to conclude, so we stop at 15 today. Let's read verse 10. Let's read the translation and purpose. And just be attentive, because everything to be discussed there, we have already discussed it. Can somebody read the sloka? Let me see those who are there.
Verse 10. Sahayagya praja sristva Vakcha prajapati Anena prasavisya Esavosvi akamatu. In the beginning of creation, Lord of all creations, sent forth creation of men and demigods, sacrifices for Vishnu and bless them, saying, "Be thou happy by this sacrifice, because will bestow you every desire and achieving liberation." I take the purport.
Yes.
Purport. The material creation by the Lord of is a chance offered to the conditions to come back home, back to Godhead. All living entities within the material creation are conditioned by material nature because of their forgetfulness of their relationship with Vishnu or Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vedic principles are to help us understand this eternal relation as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Vedas cha sabe tham eva. Lord says that the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Him. In the Vedic hymns, said, Bhakti Vishwasyatme Swaram. Therefore, Lord of the entity is the personality of God Vishnu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, 2:420, Adev Goswami described the Lord as Pati in so many ways. Pati Yagya Pati Prajapati Yam Pati Loka Pati Dhara Pati Pati Gatis Chandaka Vrisan Satraktam Prasida Raktame Bhagavam Satampatihi. The Prajapati is Lord Vishnu, and he is the Lord of all living creatures. All words and all beauties, and the protector of everyone. The Lord created this material world to enable the conditioned souls to learn how to perform yagya, sacrifices, for the satisfaction of Vishnu, so that while in the material world, they can live very comfortably without anxiety. And after finishing the present material body, they can enter into the kingdom of God. That is the whole program for the conditioned soul. By performance of yagya, the conditioned soul gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all respects. In the age of Kali, the Sakirtana Yagya, the chanting of the names of God, is recommended by the Vedic scriptures. And this transcendental system was introduced by Lord Chaitanya for the deliverance of all men in this age. Sakirtana Yagya and Krishna consciousness go well together. Lord Krishna in his devotional form as Lord Chaitanya is measured in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11:532 as follows, with special reference to the Sakitana Yagya. Krishna Bhanam Twisa Krishnam Sango Pangastrapa Sadham Yagya Sankirtana Prahe Yayanti He Sumedasaha. In this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associate, by performance of Sakitana Yagya. Other Yagyas prescribed in the Vedic literatures are not easy to perform in this age of Kali, but the Sakitana Yagya is easy and sublime for all purposes, as recommended in Bhagavad Gita also 9:14.
Yeah. So that is it. We have explained it. All the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies that the Kamakandis are into, they are prescribed in the Vedas by the Lord, so that by performing them, by bringing regulations into their activities, they will be purified and be gradually elevated. However, in this age of Kali, those sacrifices cannot be properly performed again. So they are not recommended. And the recommended process of Jagya for this age is Harinam Sankirtan. And those people who are doing Harinam Sankirtan, they have understood the Vedas. They have understood what is called Jagya. Therefore, they are the most intelligent people in this world. Those who are absorbed in Harinam. It looks simple, but it's a melodious Jagya. Harinam Sankirtan is melodious Jagya. When you are performing it, you don't even know that you are performing Jagya. The packaging is so powerful that everything that could be achieved by any other Jagya in previous is automatically achieved when you do this. So why don't we just take to this beautiful process? We are not told to give up anything. Just replace lower engagements with higher engagements. Your singing ability, you used to sing for God. Your instrument playing abilities, play this instrument for God. Your dancing ability, dance for God. And just get all the maximum results. Dancing, something you get through singing and dancing. What can be more melodious than this? Unfortunately, the unfortunate people cannot take it. Even after simplifying everything, those who are unfortunate, they have no attraction for it. This process is the prime benediction for humanity at large. Can somebody read the translations of those slogans and read them all? Wait, let me look for somewhere where I can see. Because Sankirtan Jagya is the most glorious activity in all the 14 words, and it is so simply presented. But we are not interested. We are looking for something more sophisticated, something that is more difficult. Let there be all victory to the Sankirtan or the holy name of Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. Knowledge culminates in the end of knowledge. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste the full nectar for which we are always hankering. You see? It enables us, the soul is always hankering for pleasure. The Harinam Sankirtan enables us to taste that nectar for which we are always. Then, my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name, there is all good fortune for all living entities. And therefore, you have many names as Krishna and Govinda, by which you expand yourself. You have invested all your potencies in these names, and there are no hard and fast rules for chanting this name. My dear Lord, although you bestow such mercy upon the fallen conditioned souls by liberally teaching your holy names, I am so unfortunate that I commit offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I do not achieve attachment to chanting of the holy names. I am so unfortunate that I have even no attraction for them. So like this is the glory, the Sankirtan Jagya is the most glorious. So here in the purport, it is said that this is the purpose of creation. Let people do Jagya for Vishnu and be gradually purified and elevated. That the Lord created this material world to enable the conditioned souls to learn how to perform jagyas or sacrifices for the satisfaction of Vishnu, so that while in the material world, they can live very comfortably without anxiety. And after finishing the present material body, they can enter into the kingdom of God. That is the whole program for the conditioned soul. By performance of jagya, the conditioned souls gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all respects. However, in this age of Kali, the recommended jagya is Harinam Sankirtan. The choice is yours, whether to be part of this jagya or to continue to speculate and be dragging your feet and be suffering, thinking that you are very smart. 11. That's 11.
Verse 11.
Yes.
The demigods inflict sacrifices will also endorse by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. Purport. The demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of air, light, water, all other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yagyas by the human being. Some of the yagyas are meant to satisfy particular demigods, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu's worshipped in all yagyas as the chief beneficiary. It is stated also in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all kinds of yagyas. Bhaktaram yagyatapasam. Therefore, ultimate satisfaction of the yagyapati is the chief purpose of all yagyas. When these yagyas are perfectly performed, naturally the demigods in charge of the different department of supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in the supply of natural products. Performance of yagyas has many side benefits, ultimately leading to liberation from material bondage. By performance of yagya, all activities become purified, as it is stated in the Vedas. Ahara sudo sattva, surihi sattva, sudo dhruva smritihi, smritil labe sarva gratinam vipramokshaha. By performance of yagya, one's eatable become sanctified, and by eating sanctified foodstuffs, one's very existence becomes purified. By the purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified. And when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And all this combined together leads to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present-day society.
Krishna consciousness is the great necessity for present-day society. And by following these regulative activities enjoined in the Vedas presented to us by Srila Vyasadeva, one gets gradually elevated and our very existence becomes sanctified. And the food we eat also becomes sanctified. And by eating sanctified food, our intelligence becomes sanctified. And everything becomes sanctified and purified. By the purification of existence, final tissues of the memory become sanctified. And when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And all this combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, which is the great necessity of present-day society. So you can see how everything is connected. The demigods are not independent. They are departmental heads in the universal administration of God. They are all accountable to Vishnu for their activities, and he supervises them. And whenever they make mistake, he chastises them and gives them another chance to complete their work until their tenure of office expires. Understand? So this is it. The Lord has made this arrangement to gradually bring us. Therefore, all those jagyas we are talking of, they are the safety nets. The Lord has thrown his net. It's the Sankirtan arrangement of the Lord to trap all the conditioned souls who are trying to go away. The more they go away, he sends his net to trap them so that in all circumstances, they will fall within his structure. So that structural arrangement was given by Krishna because he knows the conditioned souls and what they can do. Therefore, he prepared for them. He proactively arranged that those deviants, since they have desire for sense gratification, they would like to submit themselves to some very rich person. And the demigods are the richest people. When they surrender to the demigods, not knowing that the demigods are still his servants, in that they are surrendered to his own downline servant. And then from there, when they get purified by serving, having a sense of subordinating themselves to superiors, then from there they come to realize that the demigods themselves, they're also chanting and they're doing puja. Who are they doing puja for? So that is Krishna. Oh, that is my father now. Then let me go back to my father. I better be my father to be serving the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of my father. Let me go back to my. Then the prodigal son returns. This is the whole arrangement. The prodigal son returns back. All conditioned souls here, they are prodigal sons, including you and me. But we are fortunate, we are the fortunate ones among the prodigal sons. This is why we are in contact with Krishna consciousness. And from there, by doing devotional service very well, we are already on the elevator to the top of the building, top of the ladder. While those who are coming step by step are still looking, we are already there doing our work in the ultimate. And therefore, we should take to this process very seriously and engage ourselves in Harinam Sankirtan, be purified, and go back home back to Godhead. It's as simple as that. So this is the process given to us. God is more caring for us than whatever care we can get from anybody, including our father and mother. God is most caring. So caring that he designed a placenta to be attached to the mother's womb. So that while you are in that helpless situation in the womb, you can still feed. Huh? What else do you want from God? Even when you are in the most precarious condition, he arranged food for you. And as soon as you come out, even before you come out, breast milk is full for you. Who made this design? This is God's design. So this supreme designer is the supreme designer, is our Father. You cannot run away from him. Since you are still functioning within his design, you can never go beyond him. So the sooner we come to realize that everything in this world is already being designed by him, so that wherever we run to, whatever we try to do, we cannot escape him. We better quickly surrender voluntarily. It is foolish to think that anybody in this material world is independent. We are not if we are independent, we're supposed not to be born, we're supposed not to grow old, we're supposed not to get disease, and we're supposed not to leave our bodies. If we are independent, anybody who has taken a material body, you should know that it's in the universal prison house. Yes. And the demigods are administrative heads in that universal prison house. And your body is your individual prison suit. The tailor that made your prison suit for you is material nature. You are an eternal spirit soul, and material nature had made a prison suit for you, which is your individual material body, for you to function in the prison. For you to be known as a prisoner, you must have a prison suit. So this is your body, you think that is your body that is so nice that you are decorating and you are working hard to maintain, rubbing it with all kinds of creams, spraying it with all kinds of perfumes, sewing all kinds of trousers and shirts for it. It's simply your prison suit. Liberation begins when you give up the prison suit and you don't take another prison suit. Then you are liberated. And therefore, the Lord arranged that while you are in the prison, the reformatory activities are given. Understand? Prison is not meant for killing the person, it's meant for rectification. This material world is designed so that we can, in a way that we can learn and eventually rectify our consciousness, our whimsical, rebellious consciousness, so that we can finally surrender back to God and go back home back to God. This is the whole design. You gotten it? Why God created this world? A big prison house to accommodate all the prisoners, all the conditions souls who are taking material bodies, including the lower ones, based on your degree of contamination and criminality. Then you are given this body. The body you are worshiping now is already being eaten by time. And since it is God that gave you through material nature will take it back and recycle it again and give to others, and recycle others on together and give another one to you according to what you deserve. This is what is going on. God is our Father, He's so loving, He's caring, we are whimsical, but He never forgets us. He always makes arrangement to carry us along. Therefore, He has made this arrangement out of love. So let us take to the Jagia that He has prescribed for us. That Jagia is Harinam Sankirtan for this age. If you are doing this, when you give up your body, you will not take another material body again. You will be liberated from this prison house of material existence. Got it? This big prison house in which there are planes flying. You can imagine a big prison house, plane flying in the prison yard. And they say they are going from country to country, but they are still within the prison. The prison, the four walls of the prison are birth, old age, disease, and death. You cannot fly out as long as you are in this body. Hare Krishna. Next verse, please. We have only 5 minutes more.
Verse 12.
Yes.
Istabhogam hino deva dasyante yagabhavitaha te daktam hapradayebhyo yo bhavakte stineva saha. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yagya sacrifice, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. Purport. The demigods are authorized supplying agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yagyas. In the Vedas, there are different kinds of yagyas prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the Personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigods is recommended according to the different material qualities of the persons concerned. Different types of yagyas are recommended in the Vedas. Worship of different demigods is also on the same basis, namely according to different qualities. For example, the meat eaters are recommended to worship the goddess Kali, the ghastly form of material nature, and before the goddess, the sacrifice of animals is recommended, but for those who are in the mode of goodness, the transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. But ultimately, all yagyas are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental position. For ordinary men, at least 5 yagyas, known as Panchamahayagya, are necessary. One should know, however, that all the necessities of life that the human society requires are supplied by the demigod agents of the Lord. No one can manufacture anything. Take, for example, all the eatables of human society. These eatables include grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, sugar, etc. For the persons in the mode of goodness,
No, for the person in the mode of goodness. The first one you mentioned for the person in the mode of goodness. Yeah. And also,
eatables for the non-vegetarians, like meat, none of which can be manufactured by men. Then again, take for example, heat, light, water, air, etc., which are also necessities of life. None of them can be manufactured by the human society. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight, rainfall, breeze, etc., without which no one can live. Obviously, our life is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require so many raw materials like metal, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and so many essentials, all of which are supplied by the agents of the Lord, with the purpose that we should make proper use of them to keep ourselves fit and healthy for the purpose of self-realization, leading to the ultimate goal of life, namely liberation from the material struggle for existence. This aim of life is attained by performance of yagyas. If we forget the purpose of human life and take
simply,
supplies.
no, not supply, simply. If we forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies. Are you there?
I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah. You jumped simply before, so
And simply take supply.
if
Sense gratification and become more entangled in material existence, which is not the purpose of creation, certainly we become thieves.
Your voice is very faint, oh.
I don't know what the cause of.
Okay, then let me read now.
Okay.
This aim of life is attained by performance of jagyas. If we forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from the agents of the Lord for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in material existence, which is not the purpose of creation, certainly we become thieves. And therefore we are punished by the laws of material nature. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. The gross materialist thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They are simply directed to sense gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform jagyas. Lord Chaitanya, however, inaugurated the easiest performance of jagya, namely the Sankirtan jagya, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accepts the principles of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here we see a thief is punished by the state. The thieves who live within this world without repaying the demigods for the amenities they have used are punished by Yamaraj. Followers of the Vedic system, even though they have material desires, are not punished. Rather, they are elevated by their submission to the Vedic system. The Vedic system limits sense enjoyments to that which is attained through Vedic formulas. Despite the follower's selfish desires, his adherence to Vedic injunctions is a step forward, giving up his envy of Krishna and a sense of being independent of Krishna. Arjuna, however, could think, I don't need jagyas, demigods, and opulent necessities of life. Nor must I perform jagyas to live. I will go to the forest and live by begging. I won't take from the demigods, so I won't be sinful by not offering the jagyas to them. No, not only won't I be a thief, no, but I won't take part in this griyasa or in this ghastly sinful warfare. Krishna replies in the next two verses. So we'll stop here because the time is past. These next two verses are very critical verses and they are very sweet. And this part of the Bhagavad Gita, we don't need to rush it because this is practically telling us how to live in this world. How to live. We are not trying to die. We are trying to live and how to live. This is what is being explained there. Okay. Okay, here two results of sacrifices. One, fulfilling all material desires. Then purify the heart and exit the material world. This is the purpose. And we can stop here, 11 to 12, okay. This is entitled Fulfilling Desires by Demigod Worship. That if we forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from the agents of the Lord for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in material existence, which is not the purpose of creation, certainly we become thieves. And therefore, we are punished by the laws of material nature. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. So in this way, we stop here and let us meditate on this. While others are talking about how to leave this body, how to go back home, back to God, this portion is teaching us how to live happily here. What to do in order to be happy here. And while living happily here by following these regulations, will be purified and gradually will be elevated while living. And when we leave the body, we also get elevation to higher realms. In that way, it is all good. So let us learn this. Individually, we should know our levels. Our individual sincerity come into play. We should know our level. We should not think that we are sannyasis when we know that when we are not actually there, when we are not actually sannyasis. Yet, we have also responsibilities to do. We should fix our consciousness on doing our responsibilities with regulation. If we do such a regulated life, such a person, according to Bhagavad Gita 3:8, is it not 3:8? Charlatan, 3:7, the purport. Here, listen again. Let me read the purport, a part of the purport. This starting from the grace. The purport of verse 7. Instead of becoming a pseudo-transcendentalist for the sake of wanton living and sense enjoyment, it is far better to remain in one's own business and execute his purpose of life, which is to get free from material bondage and enter into the kingdom of God. The prime Swatagati, or goal of self-interest, is to reach Vishnu. The whole institution of Varna and Ashram is designed to help us reach this goal of life. A householder can also reach this destination. A householder can also reach this destination by regulated service in Krishna consciousness. For self-realization, one can live a controlled life as prescribed in the Shastras and continues carrying out his business without attachment, and in that way make progress. A sincere person who follows this method is far better situated than the false pretender who adopts so-bottle spiritualism to cheat the innocent public. A sincere sweeper in the street, is far better than the charlatan meditator who meditates only for the sake of making a living. So you get it. So household life is glorified over pretentious, renounced life here. So let us know where we are. Let's know our level and try to function there accordingly. And not think ourselves to be what we are not and pretend and religion to exploit people. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. See you on Thursday. His co-founder, Chancellor A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I just the reach house now from temple now. I want to hear everything, but not comfortable, but I listen small.
It's okay, no problem.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. But you never know. I heard you are explaining it, but you never listed it on the platform, the listen. That man asked me. I heard that you are explaining it in your lecture, the grade, but you never listed it as you promised to.
Which one? Which one I say?
Stages of the yoga. You mentioned it, you are explaining, but I have to write it so I can copy it.
Okay. Don't worry. We'll see. It will be okay. We'll talk about that later. Thank you very much. Now you can go home, everybody. His co-founder, Chancellor A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Of God. Hello.